Clinton Jones, former member of the Corridor crew, is hosting another render challenge. This time it's titled Infinite Journeys. Let's keep the description simple. You need some sort of vehicle, a character inside that vehicle, make it move to the right, then match the composition of the template that they have given. I have a thesis revision due pretty damn soon. In fact, it's due earlier than the render challenge. But it's fine. School can wait. Render challenge first. Going into this challenge, I already had this one idea in mind. Just right beside where I live, there's this taller. Not quite sure if there's an accurate translation. Google tells me it's like a car workshop. But what it is like a station for cars and vehicles to get fixed, but also where drivers can park their cars and hang around. That's kind of like the culture that forms around these places here in the Philippines. But this one looked especially eye-catching to me. This one area, it was littered and battered down, and old-looking taxis, engulfed in shrubbery and trees and nature. It just looked so weirdly cool, but it was something that was real. It just had this weird melancholic tone to it, a sort of post-apocalyptic vibe where nature has once again taken its course after the place has been damaged, but then untouched by human hands for such a long time. I like to call it the taxi graveyard, and this is where my idea will be revolving around for my render. I want the rightward motion from the template to give a sense of contrast, where we start off with what feels like a car getting towed by a truck. So it's gonna be tilted a bit to the left. But as we wipe across this one battered down taxi near the door, we start seeing the trunk of a huge tree leading towards this melancholic landscape of taxis wrapped in vines and littered with nature, and just overall in like a volume of warm lighting where it has this weird nostalgic feel to it. And that's probably what I will try to accomplish. But that's pretty much the gist of the idea. There's nothing too special about it. I've just been thinking about that area every once in a while since we moved to this place, like just over a year ago. And I think it's long due that I've made something relating to it now that I've spent a lot more time learning about Blender and art. There's some minor details that I actually really want to squeeze into the piece. For example, there's the taximeter. I want to play with how it lights up the car's interior, especially in the beginning. I want the lighting from the taximeter to feel like it's like colder lighting, which where it will form a contrast that will be overwhelmed by the warm lighting once we see the full landscape of cars once we've gone past the big tree. And that's pretty much it. As the last part of this video, I'm going to be blocking out what I imagine the scene to look like in Blender. I'm going to try and realize the sketch in a more 3D space. This allows me to figure out where some key elements need to be placed. For example, the main battered up car right before the transition, the tree also right before the transition and behind the battered up car, and of course where the landscape will be placed and what the landscape will generally look like. Other than that, I've set up where I think I'll be needing the main light sources for the scene, namely the taximeter and then the light for the landscape. I think eventually the area light that I used will be changed into a directional light because the scene is technically outdoors. I need to simulate the sun. I'll just use some shader graph magic on it to make it look better, and then probably slap a volume on there to give it that more ethereal feeling. Of course, none of these will be final. This is just a secondary sketch, because I'd imagine this would significantly speed up my process when I start making and putting in the final assets. If ever, I do want at least a rendered version of the blockout scene so you guys can see it. So expect that at the end of the video. I'll also be uploading an unlisted version of a standalone work in progress render video that will be in the description below. So make sure to check that out if you just want the video. Of course, please excuse the glowing taximeter. I forgot how to assign the material only on specific faces. Though either way, it does give me that same sort of light source that I wanted to test out. So this works out. It's fine. And that is it for the video. I was able to accomplish a sketch and blockout. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Unfortunately, I'll have to take a little break from doing the render challenge. Thankfully, I still have time, but unfortunately, I'm running out of time for my thesis revisions. Those still need to be done. School cannot wait after all, unfortunately, but I'll come back to the render challenge as soon as I finish that, which is probably next week. And I still plan to make 2 more videos. Hopefully, I still have time because I want to make a video for the environment since I'm still learning a lot from that, and then the vehicle. I'm also going to learn a lot about Blender for that. In the 3rd video, the vehicle video, I'll probably piece everything together there, and then include the submission in that final video. Hopefully it works out. Again, the video for the blockout render will be in the description below. It'll be unlisted, but there's gonna be a link. So if you guys want to see that, I plan to share that on the Discord, the Punisher Discord, because you can share the work in progress. Maybe they'll like it. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope to see you guys soon.